Coming up on OU Nightly, details from Governor Fallon's new plan to tame the billion-dollar budget deficit. Wildfires are still burning, but help is on the horizon. And Norman prepares for the threat from mosquitoes carrying West Nile and Zika. Nightly is next. Dust is settling at the Oklahoma Capitol, where lawmakers are scrutinizing Governor Fallon's new budget plan. Late yesterday, Fallon laid out her proposal, which she believes is a way out of the state's $1.3 billion budget crisis.
Fallon's proposal relies on more than $500 million in bonds, which would fund road work and freeing up money for other priorities. If adopted, the plan would increase spending for education, healthcare, and human services. Most other agencies would see budget cuts of nearly 5%. The governor also called for increasing revenue through a variety of sources, including $240 million from tax sources like advertising sales and NBA tickets, and $333 million from government accounting reforms. Of course, the big stumbling block is that the proposal needs legislative approval. Speaker of the House Jeff Hickman says it's probably somewhat optimistic to think the plan will achieve the result the governor promises.
The city of Yukon is also facing a financial crisis. This one was self-inflicted. A short $4 million, city manager Jim Crosby says Yukon is going to cut back on everything. Yukon has already laid off more than 20 people and may have to fire 15 more. The budget crisis is a result of years of overspending, misuse of funds, and failing to follow city ordinances. Crosby says he's not sure the city can overcome and meet the end of the month payroll.
And even with recent rains, wildfires in Oklahoma are still not controlled. Since January, more than 500,000 acres have burned in Oklahoma, and with the land still thirsty for water, the flames are yet to die out. The rains that soaked most of central Oklahoma the days past brought a drizzle to northwest Oklahoma, which is not nearly enough to reduce fire danger. Right now, the Anderson Creek wildfire is 90% contained, and the Woodward County fire is fully contained. But contained does not mean controlled. Much of northwest Oklahoma is still at risk.
The Anderson Creek fire and the 350 complex, neither one of them are controlled, meaning dead out. They are contained, and firefighters are still patrolling, monitoring, and mopping up, and ensuring that those fires are still within the control lines that we've established today and Friday, very similar to what the conditions were for both the 350 complex and the Anderson Creek wildfires.
What the state really needs is a nice big glass of water.
Very true. Is there any hope for that anytime soon, Grant?
That's right. There's finally some relief on the radar for this weekend. However, today, the latest drought outlook released showing intensifying drought here in northwest Oklahoma and out in the Panhandle. Meanwhile, central Oklahoma is entering those dry conditions now. But right now in Norman, cloud cover increasing, sitting at 65, light winds out of the southeast at 5, humidity sitting at 64%. Now later in Maine weather, I'll have more on a stormy weekend with the best chance for severe weather out in western Oklahoma and into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, and how long this rain will stay with us. More on that later. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. And more rain is no doubt good for Oklahoma, but there's also a downside. It's great for mosquitoes. And as health officials plan for the upcoming mosquito season, the city of Norman and Cleveland County Health Department have two things on their mind: Zika and West Nile virus. Health experts say Norman does not currently face a Zika threat, but in Oklahoma, there's always a summertime concern with West Nile disease. Like Zika, mosquitoes also transmit West Nile. Cleveland County says it will be spraying certain affected areas, hoping to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, by killing both Zika and West Nile infected mosquitoes.
Actually, the health department's in communication with the city of Norman to work on a plan to cover both, because we feel like a good plan will cover both of those potential viruses.
Norman residents can do their part to reduce mosquito breeding grounds by looking for and eliminating standing water on their property. And as the fight against Zika continues, researchers are doing everything they can to learn more about the disease. Emily Akins is in the News Center with the latest. Emily?
The CDC confirms the Zika virus is the cause of the birth defect microcephaly. The connection was widely believed, but medical experts hope this is the turning point in changing the public perception of the virus. The new evidence will be published in this week's New England Journal of Medicine. The Florida State Attorney has dropped the battery charges on Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. The charges came last month after a video showed Lewandowski grabbing a reporter by the arm as she tried to talk to Trump.
While the evidence in this case is legally sufficient for the police to have charged Mr. Lewandowski, it is not strong enough to meet the legal burden of a reasonable likelihood of a conviction.
Despite the dropped charges, Lewandowski shared an apology letter draft with prosecutors, but it has not been sent to the reporter yet. As presidential candidates Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton prepare for next Tuesday's New York primary, they are concentrating their efforts in New York City, and that's where they will debate tonight. 291 New York delegates are up for grabs in tonight's pivotal face-to-face showdown. The debate begins at 8 o'clock and can be seen on CNN. And a 6.2 magnitude earthquake hit southern Japan earlier today, with aftershocks expected to hit for the next week. Stephen?
Thanks, Emily.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, Shay Smith will tell you everything you need to know about shows around Oklahoma this weekend.
Plus, straight ahead on OU Nightly, Emily Aiken spoke with Eric Stryker about his influence on the OU community off the field.
Welcome back. He's best known as one of the captains of OU's 2016 Final Four football team, but Eric Stryker is so much more. This week he received OU's $20,000 Otis Sullivan Award for his leadership on campus, especially during the racial strife last year brought on by a video of a racist chant. Stryker talked to Nightly's Emily Atkins about the imprint he made here at OU.
What was your first reaction when you received awards like this? You know, what are you kind of thinking as you get the news?
Well, usually I'm hoping that I'm sitting down because they're such great awards. And, you know, these are the best awards that I could ever win because that, you know, the non-athletic awards, I see, it shows the type of person who I am and our personality. And I think that's what I've been trying to do through the years as an athlete. You kind of want to break those stereotypes, right? You say, oh, you know, you hear that, I'm at the library. You know what a library is? You know, all these type of stereotypes. And so I'm in class and participating and showing my personality. And the fellow students, classmates are loving it. They're laughing and see, okay, this guy, you know, he's just not a ball player. We just don't see him on Saturday.
Stryker says after all the things he's experienced at OU, some of the greatest skills he will bring to his career have nothing to do with football.
I think I've gained some great leadership skills and qualities, some things that I learned dealing with a big group of guys. A football team is obviously like 100 and something of us on the team, is that, you know, you have to be very decisive and you have to go with a decision. And everybody's not going to agree with the decision, but because you're the leader and the captain, they have to be behind it and understand what you're trying to do.
After graduating in May, Stryker heads to the NFL draft, but he says after that, he's not sure what life holds for him.
For many in the LGBTQ community, especially transgender individuals, safely shopping for gender-appropriate clothing can be difficult. OU's Gender Inequality Center hosted an event called LGBTQ Closet, and OU Nightly's Catherine James has the story.
LGBTQ students sort through donated clothing, searching for that perfect shirt or shorts in a safe and friendly environment provided at OU's Memorial Union.
We had lots of people drop by, bags and bags of clothing, shoes, accessories, anything that you can possibly need.
For transgender students, finding safe places to shop for gender-appropriate clothing can be more than a matter of personal comfort. It's a matter of personal safety.
It might be a little bit difficult for them to shop in like public places sometimes, but this sets up like a very safe community for them all to just like rouge around and to have fun.
After the success of today's event, the Gender Inequality Center hoped to make the LGBTQ Closet an annual event. Catherine James, OU Nightly.
The idea to make the event an annual occurrence came from the students who attended the event. Looking for something artsy to do this weekend? Shay Smith is here with all the details in Oklahoma arts and entertainment. Shay?
That's right, Stephen. If you and your family are looking for something to do this weekend, the Civic Center Music Hall is hosting 2 famous shows. Night Mother is playing all this weekend and all next weekend. And now, if you're looking for something kid-friendly, this Disney classic will be the way to go. Peter Pan and his crew are in town tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday afternoon to perform a ballet of this story. You can purchase tickets for both online at www.okcciviccenter.com. And for all you 90s lovers, here's a Throwback Thursday for you. The I Love the 90s tour from MTV is making its way to Oklahoma. The tour featuring Vanilla Ice, Salt and Peppa, Coolio and Rob Bass, and many more will make a stop at the Cox Convention Center on October 1st. Tickets go on sale April 29th at the Chesapeake Arena box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. And the OU College of Fine Arts gets another visit by a famed opera singer. OU Nightly's Ashley Wheeler talks to one music student about the experience.
Marilyn Horne, world-renowned American mezzo-soprano opera singer, former star of the Metropolitan Opera, and a legend in the singing community, she is the epitome of what many aspiring opera singers hope to be, and her opinion is well respected.
But your level of singing, take it down and see, it takes a lot of support. Yes. Remember, and watching.
Horne comes in once a semester to the OU Music Department to share her knowledge with students. She provides them with a master class and critique to help them improve their skills.
Getting critiqued in front of an audience can be a little nerve-wracking, especially having to adjust to what she's asking of you.
No matter how harsh her words may seem, these students are grateful for the opportunity.
It can be a very intimidating experience, but it's also an experience that's really well worth having. All the students that participate in that, at least particularly for me, I gained a lot from having that experience.
McPhail will have another chance to work with Horne this summer. She has been accepted into an elite program in California, run by the famous singer. Ashley Wheeler, OU Nightly.
The next master class will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Pittman Recital Hall and is open to the public. Now, this may be a shock to you guys, but I actually know the Peter Pan, so if you're interested in going, you should definitely check it out. It'll be great.
Very interested in that, yes.
Yeah, one of my favorites growing up. Thank you,
Shay.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, major achievements happened all over the sports world last night, and Grant tells you what to expect for your weekend weather.
I'm Grant Tosterud. Well, we had a beautiful spring day today. Center of high pressure centered here over the Midwest, bringing a chance of rain down along the Gulf Coast and some warm temperatures up into the Dakotas and Minnesotas, where some places saw 80 degrees today. But now we're going to look forward ahead onto Saturday morning, where we will start seeing the best chances for rain. It'll start to develop along this dry line out here in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. Now, depending on the model, it shifts at east or west, and that will also affect the amount of rain we'll get through Tuesday. By Saturday evening, that rain will start to shift further eastward, winds out of the southeast, and then by Sunday morning, we'll see it intensify a little bit, where we could see a few severe storms here and there throughout eastern Oklahoma. The best chance for severe weather, or western Oklahoma rather, the best chance for severe weather will remain on that side of the state. But by Sunday morning, we will start to see it move into central Oklahoma, and by Sunday afternoon, the best chance for rain in throughout Oklahoma City and Norman. And then by Sunday evening, it'll still be scattered with a few showers here or there before they start to move their way out. Now, because of this, the SPC has issued a severe weather outlook on Saturday, right here putting Oklahoma City and Norman in the chance for slight storms. The best chance we'll see is hail or strong winds. The tornado risk is pretty marginal at this point. Now, how much rain will we get? It'll really put an end to this drought, or at least start to put an end to this drought in parts of Oklahoma. Western or eastern Oklahoma, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. Here in central Oklahoma, Norman about right there, falling on the line between 1.5 inches and 2 inches. Now, out in the western part of the state, they could see even more depending on how much rain develops out there, as much as 2.5 inches or higher in that part of the state. Lows tonight pretty mild and warm. 53 here in Norman, 53 in Oklahoma City, 50s across all of the state. As you head out the door, 56, partly cloudy, warming up into the mid-70s by the afternoon. 70s across the whole state tomorrow. Now let's take a look at our 7-day. 76 tomorrow, dropping into the 70s on Saturday and Sunday, where our best chance for thunderstorms is. Pretty soggy this weekend, up in until Wednesday, but pretty mild overnight. So could be worse, but it'll be good for this grass and the drought.
We really need these rains.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Grant. It was a historic day in sports yesterday. Holden Krusemark is here to explain it all. Holden?
You can say that again, Haley. The Warriors hit a big mark, and Kobe puts an exclamation mark on his career. Sports is straight ahead.
Can't believe how fast 20 years went by. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Third all-time leading scorer, 5-time NBA champion, 15-time All-NBA selection, 18-time All-Star. That is Kobe Bryant, and I'm Holden Krusemark, and this is OU Nightly Sports. One of the most storied careers ended in the only way it could, like a Hollywood script. Kobe destroyed the Utah Jazz almost single-handedly, scoring 60 points on 50 shots. He outscored Utah in the fourth quarter, including scoring or assisting on the team's final 19 points, securing the Laker win 101-96. Only Kobe. And in the wake of all the Kobe mayhem, the Warriors took care of business last night to secure the record for most wins in a single season. And we get started with what else besides a Steph Curry made three-pointer. His 400th of the season, just insane. Steph also just making the ridiculous look easy, getting the tough layup right here. The Warriors put the game on cruise control to 125-104 win, their 73rd this season, leaving Michael Jordan a little teary-eyed. Now that those two games are out of the way, we can move on to the playoffs. The Thunder have the third seed on the West locked down, but now we know who they'll be playing. OKC will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks in the first round, with Game 1 set to tip Saturday at 7:30 p.m. in OKC. ESPN's Basketball Power Index rating gives the Thunder just a slight edge over the Mavs at 93%. Women's Gym heads into the NCAA championships as the number 1 seed for the second straight year, after posting an NCAA best regional qualifying score of 197.920, the best mark in program history. The team feels confident and rested in preparation for Fort Worth on Friday.
Going in and just being able to knock it out of the park, do our best, because we know that we are ranked number 1, but we also do know that other people can beat us, so we still have to put forward our best foot forward for that meet.
Having this week off, it was nice to just focus on details and get a little bit more practice in and figure out what we need to do, and all the details are going to count and sticking those landings.
Yesterday we talked about Paige Parker racking up the awards. We'll put her on notice for another award. Parker was announced as one of 25 finalists for the Softball Player of the Year award. The dominant sophomore also helped her team out last night, getting the win over North Texas 6-1. And today it was announced softball will be playing a doubleheader on Friday after their scheduled Sunday game was canceled due to inclement weather in the forecast. Saturday's game, however, remains unaffected. So, I mean, I guess the softball team, you know, they'll just have a nice Sunday off to do whatever they want.
Right.
Lazy Sunday.
It
seems like they're picking up steam at the right time. Thank you, Holden. Coming up on OU Nightly, Star Wars fans shelled out a large chunk of money for some Star Wars history. Stay with us.
I'm Allie Stratton at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Oklahoma Senate approved legislation that requires health insurers to cover the treatment of children with autism. The Senate voted 36-5 for the bill and returned it to the House to consider Senate amendments. And a magnitude 6.5 earthquake killed at least 2 people and injured 45 others in northern Japan. The earthquake hit the town of Mashiki the hardest. It's about 9 miles east of Kumamoto City. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Allie. This one's for all the Star Wars fans out there. The leather jacket worn by Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 7 sold at auction for $191,000. Over 50 potential buyers entered a bidding war for the piece, but as it goes, only one could win. The Force Awakens is now out in stores for fans to buy.
Fantastic movie. I loved it. Grant, what can you tell us about our weather this evening?
This evening, clouds will clear out, quiet and mild, and then this weekend wet, and those wet rain chances will stay with us into the middle of next week.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Grant. Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.